Chapter 21 The Golden Maiden's 7-Day Plan. If you ever look into a lover and see tears in their eyes, it does not matter what creature you are. Seeing the tears in a true lover will cause a part of you to die. She said her father arranged a marriage, and it would take place in 7 days. She said I had 1 week to convince the king, and so I had quite a bit of work to fulfill before December 28th. You will not die, and you must not kill yourself. Even if you cannot bear to marry a random man, such terrible words must be withheld.
I have no other choice. You don't understand what it's like to live beside the king. If I marry the man he has chosen, it will bring despair to the entire kingdom. When I cry, the sky rains, and when I hurt, so does the earth. If my free will and love is taken from me, then the earth's soul will be crushed, and I cannot imagine what disasters will occur. My soul is woven within nature. I cannot marry any simple soul. My dreams have called out for the man with horns. For if my husband is not you, then our kingdom will lose control. Day by day, watch what arises. Notice if the weather begins to worsen, and observe how wars come near as many men will begin dying. We have 7 days, and you must convince the king. If in 7 days I am not wed to you, then chaos, conquest, famine, and war will push this world to suffering beyond what the mind can think,
said the Golden Maiden. That's a lot to ask for. Why, I just met you a moment ago. I'm willing to try anything, but how should I approach your father and king with these horns? Surely he'll kill me with a single blow.
When David faced Goliath, he didn't talk about how dangerous Goliath was. He talked about how great God is. Don't talk with fear. Talk faith,
said the Golden Maiden. Oh, this was her, the woman I'd been seeking. This is the one I heard whispering through the imagination. It was her poetry that I had heard the wind speaking. Of course, maiden, but I am a gardener of the sun's day. I excel in poetry.
And so you must find the way,
she said. But how?
You'll do it now. Science has not yet taught us if madness is or is not the beauty that inspires the awe of intelligence, she said.
And so in a sudden flash, it was as if I could see all of our lifetimes that had passed. We were two souls meant to find each other. It was the longest love story at last. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to be loved and be loved by me. But with your plan, I must ask why. I will do anything, as I will not let you die.
Then don't let me die young. Do this for me. Whatever it takes, you must convince the king. And so you will do this to rescue me within 1 week,
she said. But how does this work? And why must it be done in 7 days? I believe I'll need more time than that if I am to find the proper way.
I wish I could explain, but you should know that I too am frightened and afraid. Every time the sun sets, we'll find a new sign from the earth, and this means we've lost another day. Just wait. Tomorrow you'll find a sign. It's been appearing in my dreams, and I cannot run from the facts appearing in my mind. I am called to protect the earth. So many creatures, plants, and people have been hurt. But when you pull this off, then upon our wedding day, there will be a great rebirth,
said the Golden Maiden. But I'll need this back, and so I took the red turban and wrapped it around my head. As long as you keep the firebird's feather near your heart, then our love will never succumb to death. Of course, these 7 days will appear as a great test, and do not think for a moment that I am not up for this quest. A moment with you has changed my life, but it is our love that will leave this world blessed.
Then you'll do it. You'll find a way in 7 days. But tell me, beloved, are you not afraid?
Asked the Golden Maiden. Deep in that darkness peering, long I stood there, wondering, fearing, doubting, dreaming dreams no mortal ever dared to dream before. I have been afraid many times in my life, but in the presence of love, I fear no more. If I must go to the bottom of the ocean, so that our union may soar to the heavens above, then I will do it for our garden called Earth. May we love with a love that is more than love.
And yet romantic words ignite my heart. But what happens if the world wages war? Have you been to battle? Am I the love that you're willing to fight for?
Asked the Golden Maiden. And so, being young and dipped in folly, I fell in love with melancholy. What poison must I drink? What deed must I do? As above, so below, war or peace, like you, we are willing to sacrifice it all to preserve what is pure and true. I will give what I have, and so I trust that everything I can offer will be sufficient. And if in 7 days the king doesn't give us his blessing, then we'll elope in the forest, and later we'll ask for forgiveness. I paused as I looked into her eyes. But how did you spot me from so high? And why were you looking down upon that beach? What was it that alerted you so early to look down exactly where I would be?
You heard me, didn't you? I could feel that the man I was meant for received my messages from afar. I went off in search of you by boat long before, and I was ready to journey out into the stars. With the power of the heart, each night I would send out a pulse. I knew my lover wasn't a king or a soldier, but rather, he would be a gardener, an artist, and a poet,
she said. But where do we go from here? She paused.
Come into bed.
There we came together under the covers, our legs and bodies woven as two lovers. In union together, we were not separate from the other. As life is to love, just as rose is to petals, she was not just a golden maiden, she was the goddess of the heavens. I wish I could stay here forever.
But our journey must begin.
And if you have such powers and connection to the earth, there must be a plan you've had in mind with all this time you've had to think.
Tonight I'll throw a party. It will be a dancing event upon an ecstatic ball. You'll accompany my best friend. Meet her at the beach when the sun falls,
she said. Then I will look for her, but who will she be?
She'll be dressed in red to match your turban. You'll find her at sunset where I spotted you by the sea,
said the Golden Maiden. Fair maiden, said a voice with a knock on the door. Did you skip breakfast this morning? Are you feeling under the weather?
Just resting, my guardian. Thank you for keeping watch. But now that I remember you're here, could you fetch the laundry helper, as there are some clothes that I must wash,
said the Golden Maiden. Of course. I'll be back shortly. Will you be okay on your own?
Yes, guardian. No need to rush or hurry,
she said. And so I heard the guard walk away from her room, and his footsteps left the hallway as he went down the stairs.
You must go now. Go forth,
said the Golden Maiden. She gave me a kiss, but how could I let go?
If the guard comes back and finds you, he'll let the king know. And then they'll spot you before the ball, and they'll never let you through.
With that I ran, down through the kingdom's towers and back to the garden. And all I could think was that I was lost in some wild dream. Now, how on earth was a soul meant to get this done? Without a clue on what to do, and without the feather to protect my tender heart, I journeyed to the sacred ocean where my healing journey did start. I pictured the beloved in all of our past lives. Maybe this was the life where we would finally get it right. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived, whom you may know by the name of Annabel Lee. And this maiden, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. I was a child, and she was a child, in this kingdom by the sea. But we loved with a love that was more than love, I and my Annabel Lee, with a love that winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that, long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels, not half so happy in heaven, went envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love, it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above nor the demons down under the sea can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so, all the night tide, I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the surrounding sea.